Welcome. We are with Apocalyptica. How are you guys today?
Fantastic.
We got Eka and Perto.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Helsinki, Finland.
Yeah, only for this interview. We came all the way down here.
We love it. We appreciate it. Yeah, and I know you guys are almost about to celebrate a 20th anniversary. You go all the way back to 96. Talk about how the band, got together, where you guys came from musically yourself, who your influences were, and how the idea of the band came together.
We were four cellos in the very beginning. We are classically trained cello players and big metal fans since we were kids. So we started to play metal music for our own fun. We played Metallica songs and stuff like that. And we started like in '93. We played maybe twice or 2-3 times a year in the small parties of student parties or friends, and then the rumor went on and we got the invitation to play at the metal club, and we never had a plan to make any records, but based on that show, it was the end of '95. We got contacted by one guy who owned a one-man record company in Helsinki, a small independent company, and he asked us to make album out of the Metallica covers. So we released the first album that plays Metallica by four cellos, '96, and even on that time we felt that we didn't consider ourselves really like a band. It was just a bunch of friends who wanted to play music together, and we didn't expect anything from the album. We thought if we sell 1,000 copies and get a couple of gigs, that's great. And now we sold maybe 6 million records in total, during all these years. So everything turned very different from what was it. And then even for the second album, we did many covers on the record. I think first couple of years we were just, just guys, good friends who share the same passion for the same type of music. And I think with the third album, Cult, which was released 2000, we turned it into original, write our own music, and that was kind of the turning point that we started to search for our musical identity as a band. So it's been a long journey. Now is the 8th studio album coming out, 15th of April, and it's a good record.
Well, I myself, growing up, I started playing guitar and cello at the age of 6, so I always combined the two. My mother said, I'll buy you a guitar if you play in the school orchestra, because she wanted to be balanced. Okay. Now, when did you realize, because really there's only two kinds of music that moves you and music that doesn't. You can like classical, you can like metal, any types of music that you like. It doesn't, there's no conflict in your head, but to a lot of people outside, they say, how can you put classical music with metal? What kind of challenges did you overcome originally by combining the two? Or like you said, maybe it was just a lighthearted idea to do it for fun.
I think the wisdom lies exactly what you said, that actually that's how we feel as musicians. I started to play cello when I was 5, and of course it was naturally classical orientated the entire youth, but the secret in music lies in the emotions, and therefore I think everything connects, and it's just like a matter of where you want to flirt a little bit, and therefore we don't separate music styles so much. We don't think that we have to play classical or rock. We just do what we can with these instruments that have been
we were really surprised at the reaction of people that thought, "Whoa, this is revolutionary! This is great!" Because for us it was the most natural thing to do. Yeah. In our musical world, that we can play these instruments, but we play the music we love. It's for us it was so simple. So that's why we had no plan for albums or anything. We didn't expect people to be so excited about it. So we grew up listening metal music, since I found metal music when I was 13. It was the same time I found classical music. Even I started to play cello before, but when you play some instrument, it's not so much about the music style you play. It's more about a small kid wants to play instrument, and I think that's why maybe one of the reasons why we still exist is that we are a mixture of classical and metal music and all other types of music, And it's not like we are not the classical musicians who try to be metal. or a metal band who wants to try to be classical, because that usually doesn't work, you know.
Yes.
The two worlds, it's very rare. Kind of, I hate the word crossover, but there's no better word to describe this kind of project, you know, orchestra, metal bands working with orchestra, rock bands doing with orchestra, or orchestras playing, you know, trying to be funny and playing Beatles or stuff like that. So it usually it goes on only in the halfway, because these people don't have the passion for the style of music they try to play. So, but I think that's a secret of Apocalyptica, is that really that we've been from the very beginning very passionate with all kind of music we do.
Yeah. Well, like I say, all music that moves you is good. And when you look back in history, a lot of these composers were really rock stars in their own right. I mean, the influence they've had hundreds and hundreds of years since is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so the music is very timeless.
Yeah, and the old classical composers, many of them, they took the melodies, you know, from the troubadours and, you know, like folk musicians and, you know, people who played in the bars. So they were inspired with those people. And I think it's only in the last century when it started to be more like more separate, technically classical music and then the rhythm music. And it's unnatural it's unnatural situation to divide different music styles strongly away from each other, because what moves you, it moves you, and it can be whatever style.
Sure. And I think with so much of the classical music coming from Europe, it was obviously you know, a great place to start the band, you know. Now coming to America, obviously a little more of a challenge, you know. Classical music is part of the history, but not so much as Europe, you know.
Yeah.
You've come to America before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have been
Okay.
around quite a lot, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
We sold got a lot of copies as an import for the first album already, so people found it, but we couldn't start touring here for whatever reason, you know. People maybe thought in the beginning this as a novelty gimmick kind of thing, you know, and we didn't have a real follow-up with the next records, and it took a long time, and I think we started to work here
Probably
2005 or 2004,
Yeah, around that time.
and since then we've been touring here regular, and
Yes.
North America has become the most important market for us.
Yes.
Even though we play maybe 60 countries, 70 countries with every album, so it's a lot of touring. But maybe maybe the revolutionary thing was stronger in Europe. You know, if we think Finland has been always, our cultural history as a country is very short and very young. You know, we got our independence 1916 or 17, 1918.
18.
Whatever. But still,
Pick one.
less than 100 years ago.
Yes.
And we didn't have our tradition is so different than when we go to the old countries like Germany, France. The classical scene was much more conservative there. So they really thought, whoa. They thought it's the most crazy thing ever, that guys play heavy metal by cellos, and we were like, what are you talking about, you know? It's a natural thing for us.
Yes.
But America, it's I think for American market has opened for us more with the traditional style of metal or rock songs we've written during last 10 years. Still, you know, the magic of playing metal by cellos, that seems to excite people. You know, that's the key still.
Yes.
But it's been more about having great songs, you know, and good radio songs and stuff like that people have found us.
Of course.
Or the bigger audience has found us.
Well, I know you've had an amazing array of special guests, you know, on your record. I'm looking over the list of Dave Lombardo from Slayer, and Dylan Richard from Rammstein, and Max Cavalera, and Gavin Rosdale Bush, Christina from Lacuna Coil, Corey Taylor from Slipknot, Billy from Him, and Doug from Hoobastank, and Adam from 3 Days Grace. How did all that start? Did you approach artists approach you, say, we're big fans, we love what you're doing, can we play with you?
It's a little bit different approach behind every collaboration, but we started to do those vocal collaborations 2001 with the Cult album, with the album which was first, that it was our own music, because before that we were visiting many records, other band records, and now it was like, hey, now we have this music, let's do it other way around and invite somebody to join us. And we did the first song was Path Volume 2 with Sandra Nasich from the Guano Apes.
Mm-hmm.
And and we continued that, and we just met these people, you know, somewhere, and as we spoke earlier about the success in America, all musicians knew us since the beginning, and seemed to be so that most of the musicians in America, they really appreciate what we do, and were big fans of us. So we met these people at the festivals because they were touring in European festivals, and we will always be playing a lot of festivals. So maybe most of the contacts has happened like that, and you know, we just met somewhere and found out that we are all fans of each other's, and you know, it would be exciting to do something together. But now we changed for the new album Shadowmaker. We changed the concept.
Yes.
Because we wanted more. After all these collaborations, we did the tour with orchestra. We did a massive project called Wagner Reloaded about Richard Wagner's life in Germany with over 100 dancers, symphony orchestra, choir, Apocalyptica. So we've been doing a lot of different things. So this time we really wanted to focus on ourselves and to make a real band record. And we came to the point that, okay, we need to figure out what we want to do with vocals. And even it's been great to collaborate with all these people. Making that kind of record is also has a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of things are depending on, not on us, they are depending on somebody, other artist label or management or whatever. So we really wanted to focus on our own style now, and we made an audition and found Frankie Perez to sing for us, and he's going to tour with us now, and it feels good. I think the effect is that the new album it's more solid, it's really solid piece of music, and it was easy and fun to do because we didn't need to talk to anybody. We literally locked ourselves with producer Nick Raskulinex and Frankie and 4 of us. We just locked ourselves in the studio and made the record exactly the way we wanted. We didn't talk to anybody, you know. We didn't send out demos to anybody. It was like, you know, fuck you all, you know. This is our album now.
Now, was the album made before you joined 11/7?
They stepped in
before
while
the album?
while the process was going on.
Okay.
During the pre-production, I think we signed the contract maybe. I think we maybe signed it just while we were in studio. But they didn't want to come to push, you know. There was some discussion about, you know, they want to make sure that they have certain songs, you know, the right songs to promote the album, and had some concerns. And then we were like, okay, to the boss, that okay, fly down here, we play you some music and we convince you. So we don't need it, you know, any other action. So we know what we are doing, and that's what's great with this new label is that they appreciate artistry and they understand what is important on that, you know, that people are passionate and they are able to, if they have a strong vision, you don't need too many people involved, you know, to tell you what to do if you really know what you're doing, and that's why we like the situation now. So
rather than formulate anything to do with the band, they just want to accentuate what you do and enhance the availability to reach more people.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think for our band, this was very needed point, you know, to gather together, and that was exactly the reason why we wanted to find the own singer, and kind of once again concentrate to the real identity and the real soul of Apocalyptica, what it means to us to be together and make music. And in that sense, it was easier achieve like this than like spread all the concentration to the amazing guests and feature artists and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Very strong. Well, I know you guys are about to embark on the 6 a.m. tour, and obviously Nikki Sixx probably had a lot to do with making sure that you guys were part of the tour, and you know, a big fan of yours. Tell us about, you know, how that all came about, how the tour came together, and you know, your involvement with Nikki.
We've been always searching for a good opportunity in North America, especially North America, to make a support tour. And when we heard about this opportunity, that you know they are thinking about between a couple of bands, we were like, wow, that would be great because it's a perfect match, and that would create that we would be all part of the bill. That would create a really complete good event. And now we have Wamps as well there, so it's gonna be exciting, nice. And I think it's great. Even we play many venues that we have been selling out by our own, you know, alone. But still, it's great combination and great chance for us to reach new audience. and to spread the knowledge of our band. And now it feels that when we have speaking with the guys, 6am guys seem to be really excited to get on the road, because it's also it's their very first tour
Yes.
as the band, and we are super excited to get out with a new album. So I think this is a really positive and very inspired buzz for the starting tour now. So
I can't wait to get to play with them. We're supposed to do some songs together and stuff like this, of course.
Yeah, there's so much synergy in the fact that you guys are part of the same team in a way, as
yeah,
opposed to
I think we are in the
competitors.
same label at the moment.
Yeah.
yeah, I think same level.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, tell us about the new album and what you're most proud of achieving with that.
I'm most proud of this dude. And you have to say that.
Yeah,
Okay,
proud of
thanks.
Berto. Yeah, no,
It
I-
sounds very detailed. We spent like much more time in rehearsal room making pre-productions than basically ever before. So that's everything was everyone was concentrated only for making like kind of our masterpiece. And I think you can hear it in the final result that all the small details, they are very well thought beforehand. And
yeah. And we started. We after last tour, we had 1 year off from the band, and we started from totally clear table and from the really scratch. When we came from the break, and we were really talking about, okay, what kind of music we want to do. Do we want to make music together? And it was obvious we want. And then started to think, what is the identity of the band? What we want to show? How we want to sound like? And we were listening to other music. We were listening to like bands like Chili Peppers, System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine. That kind of bands that they have really strong, characteristic sound, a recognizable sound. And that was like, that's what we want to do with this record. And really work on the sound, that you have a feeling on the record that it sounds like when you listen to it, that you could feel that the band is on the same room, that it's personal, it has the vibe of the musicians and of the performance, and not like just like trying to reach the biggest sound in the world, which is kind of seems to be the trend for many years now, that every band is trying to make the bigger wall of guitar sound and bigger sound of drums, and that what actually is the result, it's not very powerful anymore. It's more powerful when you really can feel it, and so we got a really clear vision very quickly that who we want to produce the album and who we want to mix it, and we were happy to get the exactly people we wanted to work with. Like Greg Fidelman mixed the album, and we are big fans of his sound, his style of his approach for every record he's been involved has very much energy and power and character. And I'm very proud that about the fact that we reached a sound with this record that we've been looking for ages. We were searching for the perfect sound, and now we found it. Also, it's a brave record when it comes to songwriting, and songs itself, and the whole structure and on the arrangement. We had a slogan in the studio that was "Be brave." So we tried to always decide not to make the center road. If you want to go left, then go as left as you can, or right, but don't make it lame. Don't try to compromise, Make it like with the full attitude all the time, every day, every hour, and then maybe the result might kick ass, And that's what we think that we succeeded on that.
So in other words, you push yourself to take chances, go with your gut, and really go out on a limb as opposed to stay safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that has been the flame basically for our whole group throughout the entire career, that we have every year after every album we have wanted to challenge ourselves to find a new way to say the things, and we always had this urge to move forward, not to like probably the biggest fear is to repeat yourself in this group. So
for example, now it could have been easy, just to make other record, try to reach even bigger names and bigger guests, and think that that's what people expect from us. No, it was like, it was like, what kind of music we want to do. Let's do that kind of music and see if we love it, maybe somebody else will like it as well, you know. I think it's in a way it's a brave step to get one singer and forget all the name dropping, you know. And marketing wise, it's been easy for record company, you know, to have the name dropping on every previous record. So all this kind of business. So everything was very much based on the passionate feeling, you know, what we created by ourselves, and I think. It's good, and now it's super excited to get on the road, because we've done some shows with Frankie, but there's been more like special shows of different festival tour, acoustic performances, and now it's time to get the touring routine going, and it's very exciting to see where this starts to develop. You know, when we play every night. It's the starting level is so good. The band is in super good shape, playing wise, and we've been working
and
mentally super good. But we've been working a lot during last years to develop our live sound, you know, the whole sound chain of the cellos, to really, you know, to make it sound right and in every situation. And so it's like excited about the future.
Very exciting stuff. Now, to those that haven't seen the band before and they live almost entirely in the rock world, what would you tell them to open their mind to listen to some classical music? What are they missing out if they've never delved into classical?
Classic music, it definitely has lots of emotions to like reach the listener if you just take the brave step to open your minds towards it. So many times it actually happens that when people go and start to calculate and to search for different kind of stuff, you surprise yourself that wow, there is so much serious stuff, there is so much joyful, and so therefore I think all the music throughout all these centuries, they only one purpose. Every composer has the same purpose, to touch the soul of listeners. And you find a lot of different kind of emotions in classical music.
Yeah, because many times classical music is considered too much as one pile of music. It's so many different styles. So if you try Mozart and you don't like it, you know, don't give up. Check out Shostakovich or Prokofiev or, you know, Debussy. It's like so many flavors. It's not like, it's also in the rock music. You don't consider black metal and hip hop being kind of, you know, same vibe. You know, if you don't like hip hop, you might like black metal. You know, and it's the same thing in classical music. So it's a big, massive world of different emotions in music. So it's worth trying different things, because I bet everyone could find something really emotionally great, and, you know, music that moves you from classical music. It's only a matter of finding the right composer or the right era, you know, when the music is written on different style.
Sure. And all that you've been through and seen, you know, in the business, what advice do you give to the young bands, the young players coming up today? It's a different business world, but to find your own style or to chart a course to have any kind of longevity, what advice do you give?
I would say that actually what we have done could be a good example. Basically most stupid idea ever to try to play metal music with cellos, you know, those nerd instruments. But we kind of liked it always, we believed in it, and we turned it out to be a cool thing. So that would be probably Apocalyptica's legacy for anyone, that if you just love your thing and be brave enough to even the most stupid ideas might work.
Yeah, I would say focus on music. Keep always the music first, and never let other things aside the music business to overtake the music and the passion to make music.
So take chances, don't blend in, but stand out.
Yeah, don't think you should become famous. You know, that's the main. You don't think about how famous you are. You shouldn't. If you focus on that, you lose the point in your music, and, you know, you can't be successful. So it should be always music first, and if it's great, if you can work it out to be great enough, you will become successful.
Really appreciate it. Fantastic new album. Best of luck on the tour.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.